Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of MJ Everyday, a training-based episode for you guys today. I'm here with my good man, Pete Hartwig, natural Mr. Olympia, classic physique, IFBB classic physique champ. Pete, we're gonna have a chat about training frequency versus training volume.
Yeah, we were at the gym today and we smashed out a back workout, and we were just discussing different ideas on the workout. So we did 3 exercises. We did a pull down movement, we did a row movement, and we did a pull over. And then we did like 10 sets in total, and then I'm like, sweet, that's the end of the workout.
Yeah.
And these guys are like,
and I was like, that's like the warm up.
is that it? And I'm like, oh, so just elaborating a little bit more on the sort of style of training that I tend to prefer. And it's not necessarily the best style of training, but I'm going to just sort of explain the reasons that I use it and other different methods that you can use as well. So for me, I prefer to train each body part at a frequency of at least twice per week. The reason for that is so that I can spread the volume. So for example, in a total week, I'll train maybe 20 total sets of back. Depending on the intensity as well. So that's another important thing as well. Basically, the higher the intensity, generally you're going to have slightly lower volume as well, as it's like sort of inversely proportionate. So let's say you're training at a pretty high intensity and you're doing 20 sets of back. Now for me, if I did all 20 sets in a single workout, after the first 10 sets, my performance per set really starts to decline every single set. So if, let's say I'm doing like say pull-ups for the first one, and then I go on to rows, and then I go on to the next one, and so forth and so on. Let's say I get 10 sets in, and then I just keep going and going and going. The amount of reps I'm gonna be able to get per set for that same given weight is probably gonna just diminish. So what I'll do there is I'll actually just cut that set there, and basically, cut that workout there, and basically take a few days to recover, train that same body part again, so that my overall performance for that muscle group throughout the week is a little bit higher, if that makes sense. But it's going to be specific for individual to individual as well. Some people prefer to do more volume and do a ton of volume in one day, really beat the shit out of that muscle group to the point where it might need, you know, half a week to a full week to recover, and then sort of split it up a little bit differently there. But what I personally like to do is I like to do frequency of twice per week, and I'll generally do that for just about every single muscle group as well. So for example, when I do that for legs, I'll probably do like a more quad dominant day at the start of the week, where I'll do like heavy squats, and then maybe a couple isolations, and then sort of maybe like a seated calf or something like that. Towards the end of the week, I'll hit my legs again, but if I just keep beating them up, my nervous system and my joints are probably going to fatigue and have a hard time recovering as fast as my muscles can recover. So what I'll do in that circumstance is toward the end of the week, I'll focus more on isolation exercises, and probably even a little bit more on calves. So rather than doing one brutal leg workout for the whole week, I prefer to split it. But that's just my own personal method, and I find it works really good for me because my performance is a little bit more consistent across the whole week for each muscle group.
So there's a definite, I mean, let's say that your intensity stays the same, right? So you're training as pretty much training balls to the wall, or ham, whatever you want to call it, each and every working set that you're doing. You're saying that there's definitely an inverse proportionate relationship between the amount of volume that you do and the frequency at which you train a muscle group. So if you're like me, for example, let's take back, because we just trained back, where I'm hitting 25 to 30 working sets of back per workout, you wouldn't want to be doing that more than once per week, so to speak. You're saying if you're training back more than once per week, probably doing 25 to 30 sets per workout, you're going to start to affect the amount of intensity you can train with. So you would say bump that back to maybe, you know, 10 to 15 sets per workout and train it twice per week, and that's going to allow you to achieve the same amount of intensity but split your back workout up into two workouts per week.
Absolutely. That's the way that I prefer to train.
Yeah.
Is to sort of split it up with that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think really it kind of comes down to personal preference.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't it? Very much so.
Yeah.
Like we train completely oppositely.
Yeah.
You know, and we're a similar age. We've been training for a similar amount of time. You know, we compete in different divisions, but probably our progression as athletes is quite similar as well. You know, so really, I guess the kind of take-home message is figure out what fits your lifestyle, right? In terms of the way you want to train. Do you want to train every muscle group a couple of times a week, or do you want to train it once a week, in which case you're going to have to hit it with more volume than you otherwise would? And that's the relationship between training volume and training frequency.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, volume, frequency, and intensity. Basically, you can't have all three really, really high at the same time, because you just overtrain yourself. So it's just kind of modulating. When one's higher, you bring the other one down.
Yeah.
And basically, it'll fit differently into your lifestyle. And also, I think there's a psychological element as well. Some people just love absolutely, you get that pump and you just want to stay in the gym and continue beating the shit out of your muscles. So
that's like me.
You know, it might, it might be more practical because you're enjoying it more, and you put more effort into it because you're really in that zone.
Absolutely. There you go, guys. A little bit of some food for thought on training intensity, training frequency, training volume. And that's a wrap for today's episode of MJ Every Day. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on, both on your mobile, your cell phone, and your desktop PC, so you don't miss a beat when it comes to the Massive Joes YouTube channel. Pete, thank you for being a guest. Appreciate it, my man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Guys, until tomorrow, stay massive. Thank you for tuning into this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the Massive Joes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.